Greetings and salutations. It's been a little while. It's been about a year since this channel's been active, and I think that's going to change. It's been a lot. I mean, in fact, my last real post was kind of this tongue-in-cheek thing for beliefs, cones for kids. Personally, I think it's a masterpiece, but that's a different story. Anyways, a lot's happened in the last year, and I'm going to bring this active again. I'm going to try and keep this under 8 or 9 minutes, just so I don't completely bore you or lose you with my ADHD-fueled ramblings. But a lot has happened since then. Back in October, it was brought to pretty much our attention and everybody in the state of Wisconsin's attention, or at least for within the realm of sexual assault service providers, that there was a huge funding gap that was about to come down from the federal government and affect multiple organizations. So I ended up going to Madison and on a day of advocacy in October, along with the executive director, I believe, and we talked to multiple lawmakers and left feeling rather discouraged that day. But something actually somewhere, not necessarily from us, I don't think, in the original, but one of the people who showed up in Madison that day caught the attention of one of the state senators, and he proposed some legislation that was meant to try and help the funding for these organizations. That turned into two bills, one in the Assembly and one in the Senate. From there, I became very active. So that's one of the reasons I haven't done much here. I actually took on, let's put it this way. There are 33 state senators and 99 state assembly members. And I wrote 132 letters, one to each and every single one of them, stressing the importance of having this funding to keep these organizations going. Because this gap, or this fall in funds from the federal government through VOCA, the Victim of Crimes Act, is substantial. And so back in, I think it actually turned into sometime early January, these bills actually made it into committee and for hearings. I testified before the state Senate committee, and I then ended up testifying before the state assembly committee as well. And in the end, there was a bill passed. It's now Wisconsin Act 241, but it's not enough. And so unfortunately, everything that was mentioned, all the fears that were brought up at these committee hearings and mentioned to the senators and the lawmakers by all the organizations. It's the sexual assault service providers, the domestic violence service providers, and the CACs, or children advocacy centers. These are, many of them came. I mean, it was a 5-hour-long hearing, and they spoke their fears about what would happen when this funding disappeared. And it has now come to fruition. Even with the money we got from the state, it is now coming to fruition. Belief, who I work with as an advocate and on their board, lost $200,000 out of their budget. So that's a chunk. That's a third of our budget. So there is an absolute drastic need to continue to try and fight for better funding from both federal, state, and local organizations or governments to be able to keep these services available. So I'm giving voice to the fact that there are going to be survivors who will no longer be able to access services that they need to help heal. Because some of these organizations are simply just going to go away. There's no money. And as dedicated as the volunteers are, and the staff members are of these organizations, they still got bills to pay. And if there isn't the money to make a living, they go away. So anyway, this channel, I'm gonna bring it active again. Giving voice, gaining power. I'm putting the word out to others. I would like to raise awareness of the effects of sexual abuse, sexual assault, molestation that it has on families, both and individuals, both in the immediate after effect of when the events occur, and if left untreated, it becomes generational. And this is gonna become a crisis at some point here. So I wish to speak to just people's truth. If you have, this is not going to be a high-end production where, I have a production company doing all my, editing and so forth. This is a one-off on the phone, all right? But if you feel you have a truth that you would like to speak, and it relates to having gone through something yourself, having experienced circumstances in your life, for which I'm very sorry if you have, reach out. It would be just a conversation. And actually, in the end, we don't always have to be on camera. I can turn the camera away and we can literally be audio, and I can be pointing the camera at the wall if that's what it comes down to. But this is meant to be conversations. And if you'd like to participate and be part of one, please let me know. If you want to speak your truth, I am willing to listen. And hope, and perhaps maybe your truth will give others hope. Because in reality, I've stepped into advocacy, and helping others has been so cathartic and helped move the healing process along for me as well. So perhaps it can do the same for you. So giving voice, gaining power is going to become more active again, and look forward to hearing from you. I guess give a like if I guess down there is the like button, whatever, somewhere, or there, wherever, and stuff. Please do so and join me. Thank you very much.